Hi, everyone. Thanks very much. I'm really excited to share with you how we're trying to scale behavior change across the coastal fisheries program of RARE called Fish Forever. So Fish Forever is a program where we're really trying to revitalize coastal waters by helping local governments and communities establish community-led fisheries management. They're doing that by setting up networks of marine reserves and ensuring preferential rights for fishers, small-scale fishers in the community, and establishing management bodies that actually have data for decision-making. It's a comprehensive, complex program that operates in a system where policy, financing, and partnerships all work together to enable or hinder success. And we recognize that behavior adoption is really critical to all of this. We work with fishers, we work with their families and women in households and in the value chains. We work with management bodies. We work with local government staff, with mayors and national decision makers. So you can imagine the range of behaviors that we are trying to address in terms of the challenges. It's really a lot. It's not just getting fishers to follow regulations. Fish Forever has grown to cover 8 countries, reaching almost 60,000 square kilometers of coastal waters. And we're working with over 1,700 communities. There's over 100 staff working on this program. And you can imagine that we really think about scale quite a lot. Across all these years, we've been working on this for about 10 years, we're really recognizing that coastal communities are same but different. There's a lot of things that are common among fishing communities all over the world, but at the same time, they are also vastly different in terms of the state of their resources, in terms of the culture and the norms in the community, and in terms of their policy and governance structures. So we've been finding that balance really between what needs to be standardized and what actually needs to be customized and different. So we start out by really walking both our staff and our partners through a lot of training. This is something that's very core to RARE. We've always thought about capacity building as one of our primary directives. It's not, we try not to do it ourselves, but it's really about teaching others what we've learned and then helping them implement this in their own communities. So a lot of the behavior adoption training starts out really by helping our partners understand really how behavior change works. And we've seen a lot of that today. We talk about the core principles that everyone needs to know and understand. And then we spend a lot of time on the 6 levers of behavior change, things that really influence these behaviors. We also recognize that fishing is really a cooperative behavior. We know that individual fishers and their behaviors are really affected by what they think their neighbors and their friends are thinking, feeling, and doing. And so we try to walk them through this whole continuum from generating the demand in the community, coordinating the shift in the behaviors, and then strengthening the norms around the community. So in Fish Forever, we've identified 4 specific behaviors that we know responsible fishing requires. First one is really to become a registered fisher. Second is to record their fish catch. Third is to respect fishing regulations. And then 4th is to participate in fisheries management, like meetings. Of these 4, I would say 1 and 3 are really the most critical that everyone needs to do. You can't manage fishing effort unless you know who's fishing in the area and that they're really following rules and regulations, staying out of no-take zones. So this is kind of like what we focus on, and that is shared across all our communities. But at the same time, we know that communities have to walk through this pathway at different paces and at different points, right? So we've developed these pathways where we are trying to help our partners understand how they can walk communities through the sequence of knowledge, beliefs, and feelings that need to shift along the way in order for them to adopt new behaviors. So this science of BA is combined with the art of behavior adoption. So it's really understanding the pathways and then the right mix of activities and materials that our partners can actually implement on their own and decide what mix is correct for them. And these are the activities that they run. And then together, that really feeds on itself and triggers the changes as they move along. So we give them a lot of tools and resources that can help them execute this art of behavior adoption. So we have tactics. For example, the fish game is something that is done by a lot of our partners at the early stages, where they're actually still trying to build demand among the community. This is a fish game where different members of the community then get to see that their friends or neighbors are actually also changing in the way they're understanding their fishery and actually understanding the issues of overfishing. And then later on, as they move through the pathway, they're doing things like conducting events like public pledges that actually get to where they see their local leaders actually express their public support for the issue, or putting up their sails and really this is something that we've done in Brazil, where they're painting their boats and their sails and telling everybody else that they're actually following the rules. So these are the kinds of things that we put at the hands of the implementers. So altogether, this adds up into a work plan that our different partners manage to do. So there's a lot of the standardized pieces that we provide in terms of the science, but then they have a lot of room for adapting it and customizing to their needs. And this is what is implemented across the 8 countries that we work in. We also provide umbrella campaigns that kind of like centralize some of the design pieces so that it's easier for them to move forward after having seen what others have done in other places. Along with this, we've also built the network of global leaders, or the mayors, under Coastal 500. These are all mayors that have all committed to the same thing, and they learn and inspire each other to move things forward. Sometimes there are challenges that we face that are more unique, like this one in Mozambique, where they're launching a national ban on a particular gear or beach sign. And this is something that's not common to all our other sites, and this is where the Center for Behavior is working closely with our central team to generate new insights, and we're developing a totally different strategy for this particular challenge. But we also know that this is probably something that's going to be true in other places, which will then feed into another toolkit for your more advanced fisheries management strategies. So that's kind of how it's been playing out across the program in multiple places at different points in time. And we've seen how there's really a lot of room for commonality and then at the same time adaptation across the program. Finally, we're really working on measurement. We are able to capture a lot of this information in terms of the changes in the attitudes in the surveys and then in the enforcement records to check on the behavior change. But at the same time, we're trying to see whether we can try and capture a little bit of more of the changes that are happening along the pathways and really see how this can be fed back to the communities over time. So this is a sample of what it's like to do this across a big program. I hope that this adds to the conversation today. Thank you very much.